Hello, ladies. This is Shirley from Club Afia. Of course, you remember that Club Afia is the club for women where there are no borders. And there are no borders because we are online, so we are everywhere, and we are reaching out to women everywhere. We are reaching out to women on every continent, in every country, every city, every town, every village, and even every home. Today is day number 8 of my 30-day C challenge to share, serve, support, explore, express, expand, enhance, embrace, enjoy. I thank you so very much for having made this journey so far with me. I thought that 30 days was a long time, but I blinked and it's been 8 days. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of stuff I want to get through with you over these 30 days, over the next 22 days. So, remember yesterday we talked about preparing for the things we can't foresee and preparing for the things that we want. And in all of that, the big important takeaway was that fundamental to all of that is how we see ourselves, how we are, who we are as human beings, and of course how much power we have in determining who we are and in managing who we get to be as we navigate this world and these new circumstances. These times that we're living in are times of change, rapid, complete shifts and overturns, and we are having to navigate all those changes, most of which we individually have no control over. All we can do is figure out how best to get ourselves through, how to make the best use of the changes that will serve us, and how to come out stronger and intact and whole from the negative, painful ones. I said yesterday that I would tell you today about the I Am poem, my I Am poem that we get to write, which helps us explore, because it is important that we explore ourselves all the time. Human beings are creatures always in process. We're always in progress. We're always changing and moving. It's a philosophical question that there's no answer, really. We are always changing. Nothing stays the same. Yeah? The river does not run the same way twice. It's not the same water anywhere. It's not the same anything. So how we navigate those and how we make the best of them and of what life brings us and of what we want out of life, in any case, is dependent on how we present in the world, how we walk in the world, how we are in the world. And how we are is, to a very large degree, how we have lived, the things we have learned, the experiences we've had, the things we've done, the successes, the failures, the relationships. All of that is part of who we are. Who we were born to be. Our genes obviously play a major role, but even those are tempered and tempered is probably not the right word. Even our genes, even our natural capacities, our natural instincts, our natural qualities and characteristics are influenced and affected by our experiences. So for example, you might have a child who is born, and from the time she is a baby, she is spirited and she's exciting and she's, and then her experiences and her teachers tell her, girls don't get to do that. Children, first of all, get to be seen and not heard, and girls get to be careful. You don't want to put yourself too much out there. Don't be too aggressive, don't be too assertive, because you're a girl. Girls don't get to tumble and run around. Girls can't be too visible, too outgoing, too assertive. You could see that she was an energetic, bubbly personality. And she grows up to be a woman who underneath is exciting and excited and vibrant. But on the surface, she presents how she's been taught. Now bear in mind that all of us, every single one of us, is everything that human beings are. We have the capacity and the potential to be every single thing that it is possible for any human to be. Yes? And how the pieces that we use, the pieces of ourselves that we use at different times, depend, like I said, on our past experiences, our lessons, and on the circumstances in which we find ourselves. Now, very often we think that we know how we'll handle ourselves in circumstances because we know ourselves. We know ourselves better than anybody else does. That is often not even true. We often don't even know ourselves really well. Because how we generally come to know ourselves is something happens, positive or negative, and we realize that we have dealt with it in a certain way. And then we get to decide, we start to decide that's who I am. But if we had been intentional about this, and we had prepared for it, the chances are, when this thing happened, whatever it might be, we would know how we're going to behave. People are trained to do this all the time. People are trained to do this all the time. Soldiers do it all the time. So, learning, figuring out which part of ourselves to use in an intentional manner at any given time is what we're talking about. Of course, we don't have full control over any circumstance, and very often we're caught blindsided. We are caught, something happens and we think this is how we're going to react because we think we know this about ourselves, and perhaps we have reacted like that in the past. And then this particular time, it doesn't work that way. So, I said yesterday I would tell you about my I Am poem, and I will teach you the instructions for the I Am poem. So, the I Am poem is a poem that you write. It's something you write about yourself. You take the time, you give yourself some time, schedule some time, let the people in your life know that you're going to need this time. A half an hour on a Tuesday night or Sunday afternoon, you pick. Saturday morning, it's entirely up to you. But give yourself this time where you're not going to be disturbed. And you get a pen, get something to write with, and some paper, and you write I am at the top of the page, and then you just fill in the blanks. I am, I love, I like, I don't like, I enjoy, I don't enjoy, all of those things. And then when you're finished, take a breath and give yourself some time. You can read them right there and then, or you can put them aside, put them away, and then go back to them a day or two later, your choice. People often do that. And when I do this exercise, I do this exercise with people of all ages, with women and with men. And sometimes there are those who want to read it right away because that's their personality. They want to know right away. They want to deal with it right there and then. Other people put it aside until the next day or a week later and then go back to it and examine it and sit with it in a different frame of mind. But the most important thing is that when you're writing this, you be totally honest, totally upfront. Even the things you don't really like, you think you don't like about yourself, you don't want anybody to know, write them down because they are you and nobody's going to see it anyway. It's only yours. You're the only person who's going to see this. And bear in mind also that our shadow side, those things, those characteristics that we often try to hide, we don't like them, they are useful to us because they help guide us to the things that we want, we need, to being the kind of person we want to be. They remind us and they guide us. So don't ignore your shadow side. Pay attention to it, all right? Then once you've done this, if you're feeling really bold and courageous, you can expand this by inviting some of your friends, some trusted people, 2, 3, 4, to sit with you, or to do it online because that's where we are now, Zoom or Google Meet or whatever, and let them say what they think about you. That they write she's not, she doesn't like, she does, and then compare the two. It's a really powerful exercise. You don't have to do that part of it, but if you chose to do it, it would give you even further insight because bear in mind, you know this, a lot of what we think about ourselves is not what people think. We see ourselves in a certain way, and other people see something totally different. Sometimes better, brighter, higher, sometimes not so much. Either way, it's often a good thing to know. So then do that, and then you pick, after you've taken some time with it, go back through it and pick what you want to write, what you want to keep, because then that becomes a little bit of a manifesto for you, if you will. It becomes a guide to how you want to be. Bear in mind that this changes over time. The one I'm going to read to you about myself was written maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And this one, and I'm working on one right now, because I started that the beginning of our lockdown, when I had lots of time on my hands. And it is really a good exercise when you have time in your hands to do some exploration. Again, like I said, we are creatures always in progress. And so we always need to be checking in with ourselves and seeing how we are developing and guiding how we are developing. Yes? So, I'm going to read you my I am poem. I had to put my glasses back on for this. Yeah. I've worn glasses for much of my life, and I love sunglasses, but having to wear glasses all the time is just a pain. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Unfortunately, I can get away with that sometimes. So, my I am poem, my 5 or 6 year old I am poem. I am a woman, a West Indian, a writer, an educator. I am a beach babe, a sailor and dancer, the inspiration for 3 poems. I am a Simmons College MBA, a social entrepreneur, and a really good cook. I have read every book Charles Dickens ever wrote, have interviewed Caribbean Nobel laureate Derek Walcott, and I have reported from the United Nations General Assembly Special Session on Women. I am a good daughter, sister, lover, friend, a favorite auntie, and a loving mother to many children I did not myself bring. I love cricket, sugar apples, and New York City. I hike the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. I inherited my father's nickname. I own 2 tennis rackets and a bright red piano, and I have yet to succeed at silent meditation. I am a failed netball center and a wannabe calypso singer. I love my work. I love my life. I live in love and appreciation of the wonderful differences among human beings. I live in service and contribution to the highest values of spirit and mind. I believe that women's safety is everybody's responsibility. I believe that protecting children is everybody's obligation. I wear my heels too high. I drive too fast. Most of the time I talk too fast. But I stand still and listen as long as they need me to, when girls come to me and when women call on me. I like it hot. I am not my hair. Cats like me. Wild dogs attract me. In the Caribbean Sea is my favorite place to be. Like I said, this is about 5 or 6 years old, and so some of those things have changed, some have not. And you'll notice that I included the things I wanted to be able to play netball well, but I couldn't do it. There's a rule in netball that once you catch the ball, you have to stand still. You can't move around, and that was not easy for me. So one of the things I know about myself is that I'm a mover, and so when I have to do things where I have to sit still for a long time, I prepare myself. I've learned that I can, and I do what I need to help me do that. So good luck with your I am poem. If you want, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. And actually, I'm going to post on the Facebook page and on the AFIA website. I'm going to post a template of the I am poem, so you can just download it and fill in the blanks. That'll help you. So thank you very, very much for walking with me through day number 8. I'm looking forward to day number 9. I was born on the 9th of May. I was born on a Friday, and so one of the things I do is I learned a while ago, somebody taught me a while ago, that you can celebrate a birthday every week. The day of your birth, celebrate it as a birthday. And I use Friday as one of those. And actually, I'll talk to you about that next. Tomorrow we'll talk about that. Yes? Have yourselves a lovely weekend. See you on day 9. Take good care. Thank you so, so very much.